Welcome back, students. Now we'll continue this chapter. The second part of the natural environment which we are doing is hydrosphere. This hydrosphere, now it has been also taken from a Greek word hydor, and this hydor words means water. So this hydrosphere, it refers to the water on earth, right? You know it, you have studied this in class 6th also about hydrosphere, that it is the part of water on the earth. You know, children, in 6th class you have read that the earth is called a blue planet, right? So why it is called as a blue planet? Because more than 71% of the earth's surface is covered by water, right? And only 29% with land. We have discussed it in the lithosphere also, that the more than 70% of the lithosphere is covered with water. So here in this in this hydrosphere, water is found in all the three forms. It constitutes water in all the three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. So in solid form it is found in glaciers, that is the ice on the mountains. In the liquid it is found in the water bodies, right children? And in the water bodies or underground water that we take out from the tube wells or from the wells. And in the gaseous form it is found in form of water vapor in atmosphere, the water which evaporates to form clouds. So it is also a part of hydrosphere. You know children that this water which is a part of hydrosphere, it is in continuous circulation. That means that the water continuously moves from one state to another through water cycle. You must have studied about water cycle in your class 6 science, that the water circulates between the earth to the atmosphere, and then again it comes back on the earth in the form of rain. How it works? That from the earth, from the rivers, seas, oceans, the water evaporates, and it in the form of water vapor it goes into the atmosphere and form clouds. And when these clouds become too heavy to float, it again comes back in form of rain on the earth surface. So this is a continuous movement. From earth the water evaporates, and from the evaporates and form clouds in the atmosphere, and from the clouds it again come back in form of rain on the earth. So this is the water cycle. Now why it is important, or what is the importance of hydrosphere? You know children the importance of hydrosphere, that because it is the water part, so it supports all forms of life on the earth. Water is necessary to all forms of life. Then it is used in domestic, agricultural and industrial purposes. Right children, you know it that water is used in all these areas. Then it also provides with food and minerals. Like in the water, fishes grow, or there are so many water plants which are used as a food. So it is used as food and minerals, and it is the food for the marine animals also. Their food is also grown in the water. Then this water, the oceans, they moderate the climate of the coastal areas. The oceans moderate the climates. In the 6th class also you have studied about the influence of oceans on the coastal areas, that the coastal areas are neither too hot nor too cold. They have moderate type of climate, and it is also used as international trade route. Many ships, they navigate through the oceans, and they are the international trade routes in the oceans. So these are the importance of the hydrosphere. Now children, the next sphere is the atmosphere. Now what is atmosphere? See children, the atmosphere is also taken from a Greek word atmos, and this atmos means vapor. That means the sphere where water vapors goes or water vapors found. So we can say that atmosphere is a layer of air that surrounds the earth is called as atmosphere. In 6th class you have studied this definition. So we can say that this atmosphere is a mixture of gases, dust and water vapor. Right children? And you also have studied that why this atmosphere is or atmosphere surrounds the earth. It is the gravitational force of the earth. Gravitational force of the earth that keeps this atmosphere around the earth. This atmosphere, it keeps the atmosphere or this layer around the earth. This is because of the gravitational force of the earth. The earth holds this atmosphere around it, around itself or around the earth. So any changes in the atmosphere causes changes in the weather and climate. So if there is any change in the atmosphere, that is the layer surrounds the earth, there will be a change in the climate and weather. This will leads to the change in climate and weather of a place. It is very important for us. Now what is the importance of atmosphere? Why atmosphere is important? Now see children, this atmosphere, it provides life giving gases. That means whatever gases are important to us are provided by the atmosphere. Like, what are the life giving gases? These are the oxygen, which is found in the atmosphere. It is very important for human beings. You know that human beings breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, and plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So, the life giving gas, that is oxygen, is found in the atmosphere. Second thing, nitrogen, which is also very important gas. It is also found in the atmosphere, which is essential to maintain the fertility of the soil. So, it is also found in the atmosphere, which is very important. Then the third importance is that it acts as a blanket and keeps the earth warm by trapping the heat radiated from the earth. What does this mean? Trapping the heat. See children, during the daytime, the heat of the earth falls on the earth surface, but during the night time, there is no heat of the sun on the particular part of the earth. So, that part could be freezing cold, but it is because of this blanket that it traps the heat of the earth and keeps the earth warm during the night also, so that we could survive here also. Then it also protects life from harmful sun rays. Which are these harmful sun rays, children? And scorching heat of the sun. Which are these harmful sun rays? These are ultraviolet. Ultraviolet rays, and these ultraviolet rays are protected or are stopped from entering the earth's surface by a layer of ozone gas. This ozone gas, which is found in the atmosphere, is very important for the earth's surface, as it protects the earth from these ultraviolet rays. Now children, the third sphere of the earth's surface, that is the biosphere. Now, this biosphere, this is very important sphere of the earth. This biosphere, what is biosphere now? See children, biosphere, till now you must have remembered about biosphere. It is a narrow zone where lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere meet and interact. This is the zone, or you can say this is the layer where all the three, lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, meet and interact to support life. Life is only possible in this biosphere, and this biosphere word has been taken from a Greek word bios. And what is the meaning of bios? It is the meaning of, the bios is the meaning of life, and the Latin word sphera, it means this sphera, bios, the bios word is taken from Greek, and this sphera word is taken from a Latin word sphera, which means the total range of living things or living beings, that is plants, animals, microbes, microorganisms. All these things comes under this living beings, and these living beings survive in the biosphere. Now this biosphere, it is again very important, and this biosphere are interconnected. All the spheres, that is the plants and animals, they are interconnected to one another. How they are interconnected? Like the forest which are found in the biosphere, they provides us timber, fruits, nuts, right, medicines. All these things are provided by the forest, because these forests, they grow in the biosphere, plants and animals. Then they also provide natural habitat for plants and animals, right children? And many animal species are dependent. Animals, they depend on forest and grasslands for their survival or for their food, and in turn the humans depend on animals, for their food. So we can say that all these elements of the biosphere are interconnected and interdependent on each other. Now the next topic is ecosystem. Now what is ecosystem? See children, have you ever wondered why there are cone-shaped trees and animals with long fur like yak in Ladakh and not in Mumbai or Delhi? Why are camels found in Rajasthan and penguins in Antarctica? Why is this different so? This is because plants and animals have their own typical habitat on which they live. Now what is this habitat? Habitat means the area in which they grow or in which they adapt themselves to live in. They live in like a community and they are interdependent on each other. All the plants and animals who live in a particular area, they are interdependent on each other and on their immediate physical surroundings. What this means that, see, when we are talking about the animals in Ladakh, in the yak in fur, the yak in Ladakh, and they are not found in Mumbai. The Ladakh has adapted itself to its habitat. He is interdependent with the immediate physical surroundings and with the things which are found in Ladakh. So he can survive in Ladakh only. So the ecosystem What does this definition says about the ecosystem? That the relationship, we can say the definition of ecosystem could be the relationship between the living organisms and the relationship of the living organisms with their surroundings is called as ecosystem. So, ecosystem could be as large as a forest, it is also ecosystem. It could be as large as a desert or a mountainous regions. All these are ecosystem. Or it could be as small as a pond or a lake, or it could be a park or any garden or any such area. So, they could be of any sizes and any shapes. Now, the next topic is human environment. Now, what is human environment? See children, the human environment, it is formed by the humans. By the humans themselves. That is, it includes their creations, activities, like they have activities could include social, economic or political activities. So, this comes under human environment. Now, that could be like it could be the service of a doctor or the religion which we form, or we can say the customs or the cultures or education or the family, or you can say any political situation of the country. All these comes under human environment. Now is human made environment. Now, what is this human made environment? From the name it is clear, the things which are created by the humans. Created by human beings, like they built roads, buildings, dams, schools, anything which they built comes under human made environment. Industries, monuments, right children, or you can say parks. The things which are created by human beings comes under human made environment. Now see children, human beings, we interact with the environment. Humans interact with the environment and modify it, according to their needs. Like children see the earlier humans, you can see they adapted themselves to the natural surroundings. They led very simple life, and they fulfilled all their requirements from the nature, from their surroundings. They take food from their surroundings, they live in the caves, and they fulfill all their requirements and needs from the environment. But as the time grows, as the needs of the people grows, as the population increases, the needs of the people also increases, and hence the human beings make changes in the environment. And sometimes these changes could lead to modification, and it could destroy the environment also. Like we have built agricultural lands on the forest, have been cut to make agricultural land, industries, houses to meet the requirements of the growing population, and thus these industries, the waste of these, we change the land, and similarly the industrial waste is thrown in the water, pollutes the water. The smoke of the industries, which is the requirement of the people, it pollutes the air. So it is we who have to take care of the environment. We have to save our environment for now also and for future generation also. So now I hope the chapter is clear. Now children, on 5th June, World Environment Day is celebrated. So, what will be your contribution to that day? Everywhere the whole world celebrates World Environment Day on 5th June. So, you should also contribute in celebrating this World Environment Day. And how you will contribute? You can plant a tree, or you can plant a sapling or a tree. That will be your greatest contribution to the world, because if everyone contribute, everyone plant a tree, then the forest could be recovered, the greenery could be recovered, plants will lower down the pollution level of the cities. So now I hope that everyone will remember this 5th June and will contribute something to World Environment Day. Now I hope the chapter is more or less, I think, clear to you. Now after seeing this YouTube, a worksheet is given to you children. You will do that worksheet as a revision in your fair notebook. Thank you.